There is a major problem in AEW, and it's called booking. My name is JobbernationTV, the reality check of the IWC. Whether you love me or you hate me, I give you reality, and reality is AEW's booking is very flawed right now. I'm going to just focus on one particular feud and not the others. I'll do the others later, but one particular feud, the Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. This rivalry has been booked backwards. And if you see me spitting on camera, that's because I'm spitting facts. Just to let you know. But the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle have been feuding for, I don't know, like 2-3 months. You know, we've had the MJF Chris Jericho thing going on for a while. This rivalry has been confusing in the way that it's been booked. Of course, we all know MJF was secretly recruiting guys to form his own group to take over the Inner Circle. And let me just say this, the Inner Circle has not done anything in AEW. The Inner Circle has Chris Jericho, who won the World Championship. After that, let's be honest, they haven't done much. So I always find it hilarious or funny that they try to pretend like the Inner Circle is this all-time great stable or faction, when the reality is, even though they have some talented guys within the Inner Circle, they haven't accomplished anything at all. Literally, they've accomplished nothing. But the Pinnacle was formed by MJF to take over the Inner Circle's, I guess, role or spot as the top faction in AEW. And, you know, the premise is good. You know, it makes sense. And the first opening night when they made their debut, they attacked, you know, the Inner Circle. They attacked Jericho and them. Jericho takes a couple weeks off, comes back, and this is where it starts to get confusing. They get attacked, and then a couple weeks later, instead of building it to where we are anticipating the Inner Circle getting their revenge, they do it like 2 weeks later on an episode of Dynamite, pretty much getting all their heat back and killing the Pinnacle's heat right then and there, which basically kind of, you know, makes you not want to see the comeuppance that the Pinnacle will receive, because they already got it on Dynamite. That was a major issue right there that I've had with the booking. Since then, it's been going downhill ever since. And then they book the, the War Games, the Blood and Guts match for an episode of Dynamite, even though there's a pay-per-view coming up in like about 3 weeks after their scheduled match. They booked the Blood and Guts match before booking the Stadium Stampede match. So basically, they're using one of the most brutal matches that you can have, especially with factions, as a stepping stone to a Stadium Stampede match. Now tell me how does that make any sense? It doesn't. It does not make any sense at all to me. Blood and Guts War Games should be the final battle of the rivalry. The way they were hyping it, oh, we're going to have to be killed to lose. We're going to have to do that. We're going to have to do this. You know, it's going to be brutal. There's blood everywhere, you know. The actual match itself was pretty good in the first like 10-15 minutes, like I said last week, and then it fell off a cliff after that once Chris Jericho entered. And then we all know about the Jericho debacle, which was basically embarrassing to watch. And then with Blood and Guts, the way it was hyped, with the way everybody was bleeding, the way it was, we were told that it was brutal, the way that Chris Jericho supposedly fell in concrete, you would assume that the Inner Circle would probably miss a couple of weeks, let the Pinnacle get their shine, let them, you know, build themselves as credible since they won the match, let them stand on top at least for a week or two, establish themselves. Yet the very next week, the Inner Circle returns. Not only did they return, Chris Jericho, who supposedly might have broken his back on concrete, returns as well. Basically, making the Blood and Guts worthless. Pointless, to be honest. And then they do a rehash of Stone Cold Steve Austin and the whole beard thing, which was embarrassing to watch. Honestly, it was so cringe to watch. Both the selling of it, the light sprinkle coming from the hose. It was embarrassing, to be honest. And then they do it where, you know, at Double or Nothing, they're having a Stadium Stampede match, and if the Inner Circle loses, they have to disband. It doesn't make it interesting. It doesn't make sense. If you're going to do a Stadium Stampede match, you do it before the Blood and Guts match. You make the Blood and Guts match the final match of the rivalry, not the Stadium Stampede match. The Stadium Stampede match, in my opinion, was overrated last year. It was not very good, in my opinion. So to have another one where this will supposedly end this rivalry, which it might not even end it, I'm going to maybe predict that the Inner Circle is going to win. But it doesn't make this rivalry more intense. It doesn't make it more interesting. It makes it actually more stupid, in my opinion. I'm just over it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm completely over the Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. It has not gotten interesting. It has not been fun to watch. It's been a mess to watch. They've been killing the heat of the Pinnacle for weeks every single time. I'm thinking because of Chris Jericho wanting to make himself look better than he is, always wanting to look strong. So it's killing this feud, killing this rivalry. It's been terrible. So you know what? I just don't like it. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys like the ways they've been building the Blood and Guts? Not the Blood and Guts, but the way they've been building the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle match, a rivalry for the last few months, because I don't like it. I'm not sure if you guys like it. I know AEW cultists will like it because they like everything AEW does, so we already know that. But I'm talking about unbiased fans like myself. How did you like it? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, and of course, follow me on Twitter, where I give my honest, truthful opinions about everything in wrestling. You don't want to miss that, so follow me on JobbernationTV, the reality check of the IWC. Until next time, I will catch you guys later. Until then, JobbernationTV, we